Jackson County Sheriff's Department. How can I help you, please?
Yes, ma'am. I need to report my daughter missing.
Is she missing or did she run away?
No, she's missing.
And what was she wearing?
She has on a light blue coat, black pants with white stripes.
Okay.
Would you feel safe letting your child walk to a nearby store alone? Do you believe there are still enough good people to protect us from the evil hiding among us? This story will challenge those assumptions. This is the heartbreaking case of Katie Collman. Katie Collman was known for her cheerful spirit and kind heart. She loved making people smile and was always ready to lend a hand. Her mother, Angie, stayed home full-time, while her father, John, worked as a machinist. He called her my little grease monkey. They bonded, fixing cars together. Crothersville, Indiana, a town of about 1,500 people. Neighbors left doors unlocked. Kids ran errands alone. Everyone knew each other. There was trust. But even the safest places aren't immune to horror. January 25th, 2005. Katie woke up excited for school. Tomorrow was the big pajama party, and she couldn't wait. After school, she offered to walk to the dollar store to buy toilet paper. Her mom gave her $1.10. The store was just a block and a half away. As the hours passed and Katie still hadn't returned, the tight-knit town of Crothersville quickly rallied. Neighbors, friends, and even strangers took to the streets. Over 100 people searched alleyways, wooded trails, and the creek bed. It felt impossible that a little girl could vanish here, in a town where doors were left unlocked and kids ran errands alone. By 7:30 p.m., Katie's father made the difficult call to the sheriff's department. His voice trembled as he described what she was wearing: a light blue coat, black pants, and striped sneakers. Officers joined the search immediately, though some still hoped she'd simply gotten distracted by friends. But her parents knew something was wrong. Katie wouldn't just disappear. As darkness settled, searchers pushed forward with flashlights in hand, calling her name into the cold night air. The train tracks, nearby parks, and even abandoned buildings were scoured. Volunteers searched until exhaustion set in, but Katie was nowhere to be found. That first night ended with empty streets, unanswered questions, and a growing fear in every heart. The next day was supposed to be a joyful one. Katie had been excited for weeks about her school's pajama party. But instead of laughter and games, the town awoke to helicopters in the sky and scent dogs combing the railroad tracks. The trail led towards the tracks and then vanished, as if the earth itself had swallowed her whole. Then, a neighbor revealed something chilling. On the day she vanished, Katie had come to their house to say their dog was lying dead near the tracks. That was the last time anyone had seen her. Even with this disturbing detail, it wasn't until January 27th that an official Amber Alert was issued. Flyers began to cover every light pole and store window, listing Katie's features: brown eyes, chin-length brown hair, a lazy eye, 4 feet 6 inches tall. She had been wearing black sneakers, sweatpants with a stripe down the leg, and a medium blue winter jacket. The community clung to hope, refusing to believe the worst. 4 days after she disappeared, a new lead emerged. A witness told police they were sure they had seen Katie in a white pickup truck shortly after she was last seen walking. Based on their description, a composite sketch of a young, pale-skinned man with dark hair was released, and the image spread quickly. Katie's parents, desperate and heartbroken, wrote a public statement. "Please don't hurt her. Just drop her off somewhere so she can come home to her family. We won't stop looking. This case will never be closed until we find the answer." Their words resonated across Indiana, stirring even more people to join the search. Then, 5 days after her disappearance, a state trooper searching a wooded area near Cypress Lake made a discovery no one wanted. Katie's body was found in shallow water. Her hands and feet were bound. The joyful little girl was gone. Her life stolen in a moment of cruelty that left a permanent scar on the town. Police began following every lead. One man living just steps from the dollar store caught their attention. Locals described him as strange, someone who stared into space and threw loud parties. But it wasn't until he called the police himself and confessed to being involved that he became the center of the case. Charles "Chucky" Hickman, the man who lived just yards away from the store Katie had visited, made a startling confession. He told police that Katie had accidentally witnessed a drug deal between him and another man named Timothy O'Sullivan. Fearing she'd tell someone, they abducted her to scare her into silence. He claimed they tied her up, drove her to a creek, and she drowned by accident. At first, investigators believed they had their suspects, but as they pressed Hickman further, his story began to unravel. His timeline didn't match the evidence. His version of events changed every time they asked. And when DNA from the scene came back, it pointed not to Hickman or O'Sullivan, but someone else entirely. The DNA belonged to Anthony Ray Stockelman, a man not from Crothersville, but visiting his mother that week. He drove a white pickup truck, just like the one the witness had described. Investigators found fibers from Katie's clothing that matched the red carpet in his mother's home. With the evidence mounting, Anthony confessed and accepted a plea deal to avoid the death penalty. In April 2005, Anthony was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The judge added an additional 30 years for the assault. Katie's family sat silently as justice was served, but no sentence could erase the pain. Outside the courtroom, his wife screamed, "Why did you do it, Tony?" But justice didn't end there. In a twist no one saw coming, Katie's cousin Jared Harris, imprisoned for burglary, found himself in the same prison and same block as Stockelman. One night, Jared locked himself in Anthony's cell and tattooed Katie's revenge across his forehead with a handmade device. A message that would haunt Anthony for the rest of his life. Katie's death left an entire community shaken. What was once a quiet, trusting town now carried an undercurrent of fear. But from the pain, something meaningful grew. Her case sparked national conversations around child safety, justice reform, and community vigilance. In her name, new efforts began to protect the vulnerable and educate the public on how quickly innocence can vanish. Katie's parents never stopped grieving, but they also never stopped speaking her name. They turned their unimaginable loss into advocacy, telling her story across the country to prevent future tragedies. Her memory lived on, in classrooms, in community meetings, in every effort to keep children safe. What happened to Katie Collman should never have happened to any child, but telling her story ensures she's not forgotten, and maybe, just maybe, it protects another child from the same fate. What do you think? Did justice truly prevail? Could more have been done? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If this story moved you, consider liking the video and subscribing to Midnight Testimony. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and always speak up for the innocent.